Hello. Oh, let me change.
Hello.
There we go. There you are. So we want to hear all about what it's like working in radio, because there's a podcasting is a bit like crazy, it seems. You know, you can kind of do anything in any format. Whereas radio, there's got to be a structure, right? Because you've got schedules to stick to, you've got to have people, guests coming in. Tell us more about who you are, what you do, and a bit more about BBC Introducing.
Yeah, so obviously I'm Holly. I'm 21 years old and I am the team assistant for BBC Introducing in the Southwest and previously introducing in Lincolnshire. I also am a broadcast assistant for Radio Lincolnshire, and I'm also doing my master's in film production at university. So lots and lots of stuff. Um, very busy. With introducing, it's all about the unsigned, under the radar artists, kind of finding those little gems. You can kind of get the bragging rights if you listen to our shows. You know, I knew them before they were big. I mean, some artists that have come through our shows are like Yard Act. We've got Ed Sheeran, absolutely huge names now that have come from introducing. So yeah, it's of those little artists who don't have someone to really rep them. They come to us, we rep them, we share the love with the world, and yeah, we just love small artists.
Oh, what a fantastic job to have. You're elevating aspiring musicians. That's fantastic. Tell us a bit more about what you do. So what does your day-to-day look like? I mean, team is quite a vague title. Do you know what I mean? It's a mysterious title. Tell us a bit more.
Yeah, so it's actually kind of varied along kind of what role, kind of what the presenters want to take the direction of the show with. So when I've kind of worked for different shows, it's been different. But with the Southwest, I work with a lovely presenter called Dan Pascoe. He's absolutely amazing. And I listen to every single track that gets uploaded every day. So, you know, in the last 6 months, I think we've had over 3,000 tracks. So to think about that, I've listened to all that is kind of crazy. It's kind of mind-blowing, but they're just also good that you kind of don't think about it. I also make all the social media assets. I can sometimes produce the shows, so kind of go through, contact people. So this week we've got our International Women's Day show, so I've kind of gone through, chosen a handful of all the amazing artists we've got in the Southwest to come on to chat. They've got live sessions, DJ mixes, and yeah, I kind of sort out all the admin-y kind of bits, emailing, making sure everyone's got what they need before they come on the show, and organising kind of the artists need to be where. And one of the cool bits that we kind of get to do is we also get to forward artists into festivals. So like Leeds and Reading, Glastonbury. I mean, Southwest specifically, we do Boardmasters as well, which is super cool. And we've had people announced recently. So that's also a super cool part of the job.
Oh my gosh, so you're getting to see all of your stuff. You're not just making stuff to put out on social media. You're seeing your decisions basically going out and being publicly announced. That's so cool. And so do you work from home? Do you work in a studio? Or is it a variety?
So the Southwest is based in, well, it's swapped between two presenters. So one in Plymouth and one in Truro. So Cornwall and Devon. I have been down to visit when I've been on holiday, but I do work from home, which is great because it's so flexible. And I think kind of what I assume when I was going, it was really rigid, but I kind of just work throughout the week and kind of have fluidity in my job, which is amazing. But when I worked at Lincolnshire, I was based in the office, but I tried to relocate down to Southwest, but you know, it's too expensive to go there every week. So yeah, I work from home for the Southwest.
Absolutely. And also it's so normal to work from home now, isn't it? You know, all of our team are remote. So, I mean, it works. If it works, it works. And you do get that flexibility and you don't have to pay for the blooming commute, which
it's a bonus.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to see that money going out of your bank every week.
No.
Anyway, okay, so let's talk a bit about your career journey. So what were you like at school? What subjects were you into? What were you not into? What did you do after school? And then how did you get to where you are now?
Yeah, so when I was in school, I wouldn't say I was the most academic person. I'm definitely more creative. So, you know, science, maths were just not it for me. I didn't really get maths. It was definitely my lowest grade. I loved English, but I was definitely that kid in school where I was in the music block at lunch, doing music, or I would be filming some stuff in the media room. So in secondary school, I kind of stuck with like media, music, performing arts, and kind of avoided anything that was to do with maths and science, which, you know, I think that says a lot about the career that I've gone into, because I have no maths involved in it whatsoever. I avoided that as much as possible. And then I went to college. I decided not to go into sixth form because they couldn't offer me the A levels I wanted to do. So at A level, I took English language, media, and sociology. I think at that point, I didn't have a clue with what I wanted to do. I never had an idea. So I thought, okay, I kind of like media. I used to make YouTube videos when I was younger. So I'm just going to follow through with that and see where it takes me. And then I went to the ARIAs, which is a kind of radio show awards. And as soon as I went to that award ceremony, I was hooked on the idea of getting into radio and podcasting. So when I went to university, one of the main things I was looking for was a student radio station. And so I go to University of Lincoln, and they had one called Brayford. And I immediately knew that I had to sign up. So I had a show for the 3 years, and then I was a station manager for one. And then I kind of just focused my niche, because I did media production for my BA. Which had a radio pathway. So I kind of followed through with that one and made sure I was really like honing in on everything, picking up every single detail that I could. And then as part of being the manager of Brayford, I got offered the job to work as a broadcast assistant for Radio Lincolnshire. And then when I walked into the room in that picture, actually, they went, "Oh, this is the introducing room." And I was like, I'd love to work for introducing. And at that point, they were having interviews for my job. And I was like, I have to apply. It seems silly not to. I didn't think I had the skills, you know, because I was 20, I was in my third year. I was like, there's no way they're going to take me on. And then I got the job, and kind of did some podcasting. I had a podcast that I no longer do called Industry Wannabes, which was for Under the Rate, which is weird because it's pretty much like introducing, but for the entire creative industry. It was for people who weren't big in the industry. They needed a bit of a platform because it was all over the world. We had people from like Amsterdam coming on, and they were chatting about their work. They got to showcase a bit of it, and I was the podcast host for that, and I kind of did everything for that. So that's kind of how it's gotten to me where I am. Lots of stuff.
I love that. Amazing. I mean, there's so much takeaway from there. First of all, oh my God, is the podcast still live? Can we listen to it? I know you might not be doing it anymore, but are the episodes still out there somewhere?
There might be somewhere. You'd have to probably like have a good search, but I think they're somewhere.
Sounds like a great idea for a podcast. I love that. And second of all, you were saying something about, oh yes, the fact that you didn't think that you were going to get the job, but you went for it anyway. And like, actually, that's come up a couple of times previously in the previous sessions. Because guys, just everyone listening out there, do not self-select out of something because you don't think you're going to be able to get it. You have no idea what they're looking for. You have no idea what the entry level requirements are. Like, it could be you could definitely easily get the job. You never know. You might as well just go ahead and apply. Absolutely. So Holly is living proof of that. What a great grabbing of an opportunity there. That's fantastic. And I love the fact that you kept identifying exactly kind of, you were just following the things that gave you joy. You know, you walk into the BBC introducing you and you're like, oh my God, I definitely want to do this. This sounds so cool. That's so brilliant. So what is your advice for any 16-year-olds out there? I always choose the number 16, but it could be any age really. School kids out there who are maybe kind of like younger yous. What would you tell them to do, you know, to be able to get a creative career like yours?
I just think like never write something off. I think when I was in school, I really focused on the idea that because I wasn't like academically that smart, like, but I was really into my creative and I got really good grades in that. I kind of thought I was like, that's it, I'm not good enough because I'm not good at maths. But then kind of realizing that you don't need to be good at certain subjects to kind of flourish in other areas was something that I kind of had to teach myself and kind of really listen to my heart and follow what I enjoyed, because there is nothing better than making something you're passionate about, because it really translates through your work. And if you're passionate about something, when you're doing an interview, when you're doing a job, it will just like I think actually that's probably more of a selling point than going, I can do this, 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 and this. You're like, I just love it. I love this job. I do this. And I think, yeah, always say yes is another one I always say. I don't think you can be too young to start accepting opportunities. Of course, you know, rigorously go through them, make sure they are the right opportunity, make sure you're in the right mental and physical state to take it on. But if there's nothing, you know, if it seems like a great opportunity, it follows your passion, what your heart wants, then absolutely say yes. Even if at first you're thinking, am I good enough for this? Can I do it? Just say yes. Because if I didn't say yes, I wouldn't have my job now. And I think I remember that advice in everything I do, because I literally know that I wouldn't be here today doing introducing, doing radio, if I didn't say yes to everything that I've been offered. So yeah.
I love that. That's really good advice. And what about, like, because those are, you know, wonderful kind of motivational things, definitely. And there's so much like wisdom there, absolutely. And, you know, you can stop, you know, young people worrying too much about those kind of things, which is fantastic. What are the hard skills do you think that young people could, like, I guess, kind of teach themselves or learn about, that you use on a regular basis in radio, behind the scenes?
I think just getting the microphone out, like taking your phone out, doesn't have to be expensive. Like I recorded my podcast on my phone and just uploaded it and edited it on a free program. I think just anything that you want to do, kind of, so if you want to make a podcast, just get a couple of friends, even if it's at lunch somewhere, just like go to a room. I was in the music block, so if you want to go to the music block, get your phone out, do some recording, do it and upload it to YouTube. Because like, I don't see the harm in just practicing everything. I think as well, also looking at other podcasts, listening to lots of radio, kind of also maybe asking your school if they've got any kind of, if there are any teachers that are interested in radio who you can have a chat to, can they get anyone in to have a chat, you know, that sort of thing. Like proactively asking people, do you know anyone I could chat to? Do you know any companies who are in the local area? Because sometimes it's not even stuff that you can learn in school. There's a lot of stuff external as well that you can kind of explore. I know a lot of local radio stations sometimes can take people in, you know, sometimes, I mean, when I went to mine, they were like, just come up to the door with like a little CV, and like, we like to see that kind of enthusiasm. So I would just say, look online, look at what you enjoy, think about what is it that you actually enjoy about that radio show, and try and implement it into your own work in a new way. So you're not copying it, but you're putting your own spin on it, getting your phone out, recording it, putting it to YouTube, share it with your family and friends, get some feedback, and then just constantly improve. I think that's probably how I would suggest to go around, is kind of just do it, just throw yourself in. Don't worry about, haven't got the best microphone, haven't got the best editing software. Just throw yourself into it. There's no better way to learn than just doing it and getting that experience, putting yourself in the deep end.
I absolutely love that. And it's so actionable. You're right. You know, I actually think Josie said it, we're lucky enough now to have, you know, microphones on our phones.
Yeah.
So we can, and you're right, you can absolutely just kind of get going now. And if you're at school, you have the facilities, the quiet rooms to be able to do that. You know, if you have a music block, amazing. If you don't, I'm sure you have a broom cupboard somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, anywhere.
And there's great audio and broom cupboards, I think. I have a feeling.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
And finally, just because we've got 1 minute left, is there anything, we've already heard about BBC Audio introducing, I think that's like the educational kind of platform. Is there anything else that you would recommend that young people check out so that they could actually kind of like delve more into this world?
I would say to have a look at local radio and send out some emails, follow people on Instagram, contact them on there if you're old enough, obviously. I would look on to people doing stuff on Twitch as well. But for me, the production apprenticeships that are going around from the BBC, you might not be at that age yet, but I think it's good to start looking ahead and kind of seeing what they're looking for. I think the BBC Careers website is always a good example to go for. Following BBC Introducing on Instagram, they share everything, knowledge, insider tips, behind the scenes. So yeah, just social media and the BBC Careers page.
Amazing. That is a great bit of advice there. Some really actionable places you can go to. Thank you so much, Holly. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here. What a great career story and what great bits of advice. You really did nail the advice there. Thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, it's just been wonderful having you here.
Thank you.
Have a lovely rest of the day.